Hey, what's up everybody? It's Dread here, and I just wanted to get into the USD Japan chart. I know I posted an analysis video before the week started, so I kind of wanted to get into it to see what it's done since then. In the previous video, I said that, I was still bearish for USD Japan, but however, I did believe that we would get a wick fill on this previous candle, this weekly candle. We're looking at the weekly chart for USD Japan here. And I'm actually on TradingView. This is my first time using it, so bear with me as I'm kind of learning all the tools. But I had some people recommend it to me. They said it was easier to do a bunch of different things on, so I wanted to give it a shot and see how I liked it. So bear with me. So looking at the USD Japan weekly chart, we got this, this long wick up. But we also had this wick down, which I said I expected to get filled because, I am still bearish on USD Japan. But I said I did expect us to get this wick filled, or at least partially filled. And so far, that's what it did this week to a T. It started off the week and it kind of filled this wick right here. But I think we're pretty much ready to start heading down from this point. It's already been very bearish. It got pretty close to that wick. It actually got to a zone that I had marked on my other chart that I didn't really explain, and I should have explained it to you guys. But if you go back and look, I had some white horizontal lines there that I was using for a reference point for price to come to and maybe short. But I wasn't watching the charts. I didn't even enter any shorts. So I just kind of been sitting chilling, and now looking at it, we're going to go ahead and look at the 4-hour chart. And I'll show you why I do think that we are ready to, continue down. Looking at the chart here, this is our overall trend on the 4-hour. That's what this yellow trend line represents. And these are our minor trends that we have here. On the minor trend side, we have formed a kind of a bullish wedge pattern here. And we've gotten, some breakage of that wedge pattern right there. Let's see if we can, like I said, bear with me guys as I try to figure out exactly how to make these charts look good and work them correctly. So this is the USD Japan 4-hour chart. Looking at it, we have the bullish wedge that it formed. We broke out of that wedge and we came back up and we tested this, minor support area that it formed here on this sideways trend that it had going, and it rejected the wedge. And right now we've got a really strong bear candle down, and it's breaking out of this support area here. It is breaking this support area that you're seeing right here. So with it breaking that, if we get a good close on this 4-hour, I would look for some pullback and some rejection to enter short, and you can short it to 106. This area I have here marked, and possibly even down to 105.85, 105.9, and you could probably net some really good profits. I'm not going to be holding positions that long. I'm going to be looking for 10 pips at a time, compounding my positions. I haven't even looked at the 15-minute chart to see what kind of candle patterns we got forming here. Let's go take a look. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart, yeah, look at that break. Got a nice little break. It formed a sideways trend right there. We got a spike up to probably, trap some traders and hit some stop losses. And then it fell just really hard, and it broke out of this little pattern it was forming. Let's go to the line. It broke out of that trend. Right there. So we broke that trend support, and we broke the support it had right here. So look for You know, right now it's testing this little bottom, so look for it to break that. You know, look for a strong break of that. Let's go back to the candle chart. Yeah, so, you know, look for a strong break and maybe look to a retest to this level. Let's see if we can, I'm not sure how to use these things. No, that's not it. That's not what I want. Like I said, guys, you got to bear with me here. I'm trying to figure out all of these little tools that they've got for me. You know, look for a retest to this level and then down. That's just terrible. You can't see that. We've got to figure something else out. If you guys know how to use this, please give me some pointers, some tips. Good God. Here we go. Yeah, so, you know, look for some retest to this level. And then continue downward movement. I would take it probably to here, starting out. Well, if I get the retest to this level, I'm definitely going to try to take a profit right here at the bottom, depending on where this candle closes right here. If we get a good strong close here, hopefully below that support. I'm starting to get the hang of this thing here, guys. The first time with trading views, so yeah, so if we can get a strong close below that support there on this 15-minute chart, then I'll look for the retest, and with the retest maybe to this level or this level, and get some failure, some nice little wicks, some small bodies, and yeah, I'll do some I'll compound some entries for probably, you know, 10-15 pips, and then maybe let some ride down to this level. But overall, you know, we got what I said it would do in the beginning of the week. We nearly got this wick fill. This is where that wick was on the previous week. Looking at the weekly chart again. You know, if you go back on my videos, and I have no idea what we got going on here, guys. This is the weekly chart. It's you know what, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. Ooh. Alright. Yeah, so I said, you know, looking at the chart before the week started, the market opened, I said, you know, I did expect this bottom wick to get filled, but more than likely that this wick was going to get filled, or at least partially filled first before we pivoted towards the bottom. So, you know, we got that, and of course now we are pivoting towards the bottom, and it's looking really good to, you know, drop to here, and then maybe even this level here. You know, I would, you know, maybe take profit somewhere around here in the meat of this wick. Let's see, I don't know what level that would be. 105.7. So, you know, those can be some potential short targets. But wait for your confirmation, of course. You know, wait for the strong close, wait for some pullback and rejection, and then you can enter these trades and, you know, net some pretty good profits from it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I said I would recap a little bit later in the week because I did put the analysis out before the week started. I hope you guys watched the video and took note of it. You know, I'm not going to make it as easy as possible for you. I do want to make you guys work a little bit, so you got to really pay attention. And of course, you know, if you're following me on Instagram at dread.pirate.forex, you can always ask me questions. I try to answer everybody's questions. I get a lot of messages every day, and I am doing mentoring sessions with others as well outside of that. So, you know, it may take me a day or two to get to you, but I can't say that I have not ever not messaged anyone back. And I don't think anyone would say that I've never just ignored them. I've always tried to acknowledge their message, and if they have a question, definitely answer that question. So yeah, if you've got a question, reach out to me and I'll try to help you, try to answer it. But you know, if you want to know why I thought that before the start of the market open that we would more than likely get this top wick filled, is because when I was looking at the 15-minute chart the other day, you can see it on on that previous video, I noticed that we did have a break to the upside and some nice little rejection. So can't remember exactly. It was probably somewhere over here. There's no telling. Yeah, it was in this little movement that we had going here. You know, I noticed that we had a break right here. So excuse me, I like to keep my trend lines as accurate as possible, because if you don't have accurate trend lines, it will kill you trading. You know, if you look, I actually took some buys this week because of the bullish movement we had. Before the market even opened, I noticed that we had a break in this area here, so I figured we would get some play and more than likely a push to try to fill this top wick that it had. And then once we got there, we got pretty close. It actually kind of tested the support area. You know, it's really hard to read these charts, these candles, these lines. They really get in the way. So you've just got to distinguish patterns. You've got to do candle addition. You've got to just kind of, you know, I guess zone out, as I would think, to kind of just see how these patterns are presenting. You know, I know we've got a support area here, but really we've got support here too. You can see it failed to break this support area that it had right here during these, you know, these consolidation periods at the top of this this resistance. So, you know, that's the resistance, that's support. This is support of this consolidation. So, you know, we got that failure there, and then it came and it retested this support and failed. So we've been on a downward movement. We've actually got a break of a bullish wedge on the 4 hour. And, you know, I'm looking for it to close strong, hopefully get some retest to this area, possibly even up even more to this area. You know, yeah, what is that? The 106. But I'm gonna wait for the pullback and the now you could probably try to, if you get the rejection here, you could probably try to scalp some moves up 10, 15 pips, but I'm gonna wait for the confirmation of the sells, and then I'm gonna enter my trades, and I might even leave a few running, maybe even try to do some swings. I don't do much swing trading anymore, but I might try to do some swings on this one. But you know, that's why, looking at the chart before the week started, I figured that we would get a movement to the upside. It's because we had this break here. We had been, you know, kind of consolidating down in a downward movement, and we had the break right there at the end of the week. So starting the week, it gapped up, which you know, it's a pretty good sign that it's probably going to move upwards. It came down and it filled the gap, and then it just continued upwards. So I knew at that point right away that it would go to fill that wick on the upside before we pivot down and start seeing movement down towards that bottom wick on the previous weekly candle. Sorry about my phone. I thought I had it on silent. But yeah, that is basically everything that I saw looking at these charts. Let me try to, you guys got to tell me how to make looking in between these different charts easier. It's good God. This is why I like MetaTrader. But yeah, so overall, I said it was bearish. You know, we do have this break of this major trend that it had, this major kind of flag that it was forming here on this weekly. So I did expect it to, of course, have some movement to the upside, maybe in one or two passes, you know, form something like this or like this at this level before we continue to see movement down to the downside. And so far, that's what it's pretty much given us. So, you know, just keep watching. It's going to be bearish, but we are going to get pullbacks. And that's just how the market works. It moves up and down. It doesn't move any other way. I mean, it may move sideways, but it's still moving up and down. So, yeah, you know, we got our partial wick fill to the top. Now I'm looking to get this wick filled here. You know, I'll still be looking for, on the smaller time frames, the engulfing patterns, the consolidations, the break of those consolidations, the rejection, the retest and rejection of those major and minor support areas. You know, the blue lines all represent, these blue horizontals all represent, except for the ones that I added. I should have changed those colors. So now they're going to be confusing people, but these blue horizontals are going to represent major pivot points that I've marked on my larger time frame. And these, yellow horizontals are going to mark the minor pivots that have been happening over the past week, 2 weeks or so, that I'm trying to keep in the back of my mind. So, these zones play a lot of, they play into a lot of what the candles do on why the candles move certain ways at certain points. So you've got to keep into consideration past pivot points as well, because that can dictate future pivot points and future price action zones. So you've always got to keep, an eye on the overall long-term effect of what's going on in the chart. I've got zones marked from forever ago, and they still come into play today. So, don't think that you can just analyze a chart back a couple of days and that's all you need. You need to know what's been going on that pair for, the past couple years if you can. So, because it all plays a huge factor. The market repeats itself a lot. So a lot of these patterns, they form over and over and over again. They may not look exactly the same, but they do form pretty identical and pretty much a lot of them times at the same zone. So, you just got to pay attention to previous zones and mark them with your current zones, and you should be fine. So that's pretty much it. Looking at the chart, we are getting our bearish movement now after we got our push to the upside to fill that wick. So or at least a partial fill. We didn't get it all the way, but now that we have the break, looking at the 4 hour, we've got that break of that wedge that it formed. So I will look for some retest and obviously waiting for this to close to see how it closes, to make sure we're not getting just some crap fake out movement. It's just going to continue doing something like this for a little bit, but we'll see. Right now it's looking like it'll continue down, and that is my analysis for what I think it's going to do for now. Just reach out to me, message me on Instagram, or send me a message on here if you have any questions, and I will try to answer them. I'm going to try to get some more training videos put up hopefully this weekend. One on how I draw my trend, my horizontal lines here, my zones that I keep track of. I'll talk to you guys a little bit more in depth about those. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and also share the channel with your friends, your other trading partners, your other trading groups. I want to be able to help everybody, and hopefully I'm giving out some information that is helping you. So if this does help you, and if this did help you, please leave a like. It helps me know that I'm doing something good for the people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the channel, and reach out to me. I do offer mentoring sessions and things like that. I may start another little group here, so I can have kind of group conversations going on with people. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see how that goes. But that's all I got for you guys today, looking at USD Japan. As you guys know, that's all I trade, so stop asking me about other things. Pretty much everything you see on the side here are things that I watch, except for some that got added back that I didn't mean to add back. But some digicurrencies that I watch, because I do have some investments in the digitals, but I'm not here to teach you guys how to trade crypto. And I'm looking at the US dollar index and things like that. So these are things that I pay attention to, and things that you should pay attention to as well. And I'll do a video on why you should be paying attention to these things if you would like. Not the digicurrencies, but the dollar index, if you're wondering. So yeah, stick around to the channel. Share these videos with your friends, your trading groups. I don't care. And yeah, have a good day. This is Dread, and I'm signing out.